Valtteri Bottas won't be in the F1 spotlight as a full-time driver for 2025, but that doesn't entirely close the door on his F1 journey. The team with which he won 10 races and had an unbroken Q3 streak is now likely to reconnect with the Finnish driver. With Bottas working in the background at Mercedes, could this keep him sharp for any other opportunities that may come up? Although Bottas's exit from full-time racing is a loss for fans, in the highly competitive world of F1, poor performance usually means you're out. Sadly, that's the case regardless of who is to blame for the lack of results. It's for this reason Bottas and Zhou have been replaced by Nico Hülkenberg and the rising star Bortoleto. For Zhou, his future in F1 looks uncertain, but Bottas's situation is different. He might very well join Mercedes again as their reserve driver. Bottas was Hamilton's teammate from 2017 to 2021, during which he clinched 10 race wins and maintained an impressive Q3 record. Although he had moments where he looked like a potential champion, Bottas could never quite surpass Hamilton's dominance, always remaining in his shadow. Still, Bottas isn't vying for an active seat at Mercedes, but may be welcomed back to support the team from the background. As the team struggles to find its footing in F1's new era, Bottas's return might be just what they need. Mercedes has had difficulty identifying the underlying problems with their car, as evidenced by Andrew Chauvelin's recent comments about ongoing performance issues. With Bottas's extensive experience, his insights might be invaluable in diagnosing and correcting these technical setbacks. Despite deserving a spot at Sauber, the team opted for fresh talent, which may turn out to be a positive development for Bottas. There's no guarantee the younger drivers will perform well enough to keep their seats, and if they don't, Bottas could be back in an F1 race seat sooner than expected. Comparing his journey to that of Nico Hülkenberg, who stepped in as a reserve driver and eventually landed a full-time seat, Bottas's return to the F1 scene doesn't seem far-fetched. Mercedes has hinted at being open to a reunion with Bottas. Reflecting on his future and expressing gratitude towards Sauber for his recent opportunities, Bottas has indicated that signing with Mercedes as a reserve driver is on the table, though he is still primarily focused on finding a race seat. What does Bottas bring to Mercedes? Apart from his experience, he offers a reliable backup who could jump into action if Russell or another primary driver couldn't race. This would mean not just damage control but a real chance to score points and podiums. This could further build Bottas's credentials, as he's far from ready to retire from racing. Having spent 5 years with Mercedes, Bottas understands the team's inner workings, making it easier for him to contribute to their car's development and get it back on the path to victory. Mercedes has already shifted focus to their 2025 car, an area where Bottas's experience will likely come in handy if he is indeed chosen as a reserve driver. Working closely with engineers he's familiar with, Bottas would be in a position to give valuable feedback on how to address the car's issues. Although he won't need to listen to the iconic Valtteri, it's James' message to let Hamilton pass. It's possible he would welcome that over a reserve role. But working as a background contributor could still be fulfilling, helping Mercedes return to a competitive stance. Trackside engineer Andrew Chauvelin discussed Mercedes' challenges and goals for 2025, emphasizing the importance of addressing fundamental issues with the current car to avoid repeating mistakes in their W06 model. Bringing in Bottas could indeed be a wise choice, as he would provide immediate insight into their car's needs, especially for resolving problems in slower speed corners. Having an experienced driver offer feedback could be critical in addressing these performance gaps. For Bottas, there may always be a bit of bitterness about being a secondary driver at Mercedes, and taking on a reserve role may sting a little given his accomplishments. After all, Bottas has 10 race wins under his belt. But the competitive nature of F1 has shifted, and even though Bortoleto hasn't won the Formula 2 championship, his skills and Alonso's influence seem to have helped him secure a spot, shifting Bottas's options for 2025. Yet, Bottas still has several choices ahead, possibly even beyond F1, should he decide his time in the sport has concluded. Other racing series, like the World Endurance Championship, WEC, may also appeal to Bottas. 1996 world champion Damon Hill commented on the importance of exploring all options and how staying around the F1 sphere keeps drivers visible in the media. However, staying relevant as a driver usually means having a seat rather than working in a supporting role. Hill emphasized that F1's popularity amplifies everything drivers say and do. However, outside of F1, even high-profile drivers like Vettel face a steep decline in visibility. Bottas might have more options if he is interested in other series, yet, as Hill points out, that often involves a significant reduction in public attention. For someone like Bottas, who still has more to offer as a driver, moving on from F1 could be difficult, especially since other series don't carry the same prestige or media presence. Although not currently expected to drive an F1 car soon, Bottas could potentially replace a current driver if they falter. Meanwhile, he may look for a new racing challenge, like World Endurance, where he can remain active without simply watching from the sidelines. He'll suggest that Bottas's skill set might make him a strong candidate for something similar to Mark Webber's career in endurance racing, which allowed him to continue competing without the strain of F1's high-stakes environment. So, what's next for Bottas? Could he adjust to the reserve role, or would the switch to a background position be too difficult? As fans, we can only wait to see what decision Bottas makes and hope he finds a satisfying path. And now, we want to know what you think. Did Bottas's F1 career turn out as it should have, or does he deserve more? Would he be open to a reserve role, or does he have other avenues to consider? Share your thoughts in the comments, and check out our latest video on Red Bull's sponsorship drama, which seems to have locked in Perez's seat for 2025.